r/ask Reddit. What's illegal, but people act like it isn't? Sampling bulk candy in grocery stores. Why did that never occur to me when I was little? Instead I would beg my mum. She would say no. I'd end up in tears and make the trip to the grocery store horrible for everyone involved. My mother was the one doing the sampling. Hell, she'd open random boxes of stuff so she could see if she liked something or not. The older I got, the more nervous it made me of anyone seeing. She'd try to get me to try as well, and I wanted nothing to do with it. Teenagers with leaking each other's nudes. I'm a teen myself and seen it happen to many classmates. Lots of kids don't realize you can get charged with CP as a minor. Some kid at my high school got caught with a ton of nudes and they tried to get him with a CP charge. I don't know what happened at the end, but yeah, it's freaked up. Folks, especially young people, greatly underestimate what being on the ex-offender registry will do to a person's life. They think it's a slap on the wrist just to get that, but honestly the whole thing is designed to try to make the people on it just do society a favor and commit suicide. If some kid gets on it for CP as a kid, it may not look so bad at that point. But what about when they are 40 and they are still on it for CP? Looks pretty bad then. All their personal info, picture, everything is on the net for people to find. They can't live within 1,000 feet of parks or churches in most places, and any small area can be converted into a park. So neighborhoods will sometimes do that to force ex-offenders to move. They can't travel anywhere without having to register in that place, and they can never travel out of the country. Most countries will take them. Sheriff's offices will often go door to door when they first move in just to tell folks, hey, guess who your new neighbor is? And none of that even covers the vigilantism of people attacking them. One guy had someone break into his house and try to beat him to death with a hammer over it. Every year some dozen new legal restrictions are placed on people on the ex-offender registry, with the obvious end goal of making their very existence either completely illegal, or so miserable that they just off themselves so we don't have to deal with them anymore. And to be honest, it seems pretty effective. Dropping the cigarette butts on the ground. Life pro tip. An empty tin of mints works great as a travel ashtray, plus the residual mint smell helps contain it. I bought a portable ashtray that works under a similar principle. Metal container that slides open like a matchbox to stash dead butts in. It's not mint scented, but it works well enough to get me to a trash can or proper ashtray. This is the reason why I stopped smoking. I know it's bad for my health and there's many other reasons to quit, but the cigarette butt litter is the one that actually drove me to quit. Weird where one finds the impulse to do things. I stopped smoking 6 months ago. Now I'm trying to pick up my share. 20 years worth to go, sad face. In South Africa, literally everything. It's not illegal if nobody important sees you, and even if they do see you they either don't care or you can probably bribe them. Sounds like Ecuador. I'm from Canada and was backpacking there with my wife, a local lady, about 70 and originally from Florida. We stayed with, carried 2 revolvers in her purse. Me being a gun enthusiast had to have a look and ask some questions. I asked if guns were even legal in Ecuador. She replied roughly they are, but it's too much paperwork. I just buy these off a dirty cop and if I get busted I bribe that cop and go buy more guns. You are stealing. Right to jail. You are playing music too loud. Right to jail. Right away. Driving too fast. Jail. Slow. Jail. You are charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses. You right to jail. You undercook fish? Believe it or not, jail. You overcook chicken, also jail. Undercook, overcook. You make an appointment with the dentist and you don't show up, believe it or not, jail. Right away. We have the best patients in the world because of jail. I appreciated this greatly. In the Netherlands, scaffold theft. It is insane how much scaffolds get stolen. Worth of thousands of euros. You mean scaffold as in construction? That's actually really weird. Jup. I it you not. There was a whole item on TV last week about that business. It's like people's bicycles had stolen, so they decided to steal bicycles. Meanwhile each year, There is scaffold material that gets stolen worth 15 million euros in the Netherlands. That's a lot, considering we only have 17 meters inhabitants. I love that you spelled it up. This guy Netherlands. Don't you guys have like the tallest people in Europe? If any one country didn't need scaffolding, I'd have thought Netherlands. In the US, telling non-managerial employees not to discuss wages. The National Labor Relations Act, which was passed in 1935, makes it illegal for an employer to prohibit you in any way from discussion of your wages with others unless your management, as in, actually have control over others' salaries. Then they can tell you not to disclose those. Problem is states can't fire you for this specifically, so instead you're fired for not being a team player. Sure, that sounds good. Not picking up after your dog. There's an awful lot of doggy landmines in the dog walking trails where I take my dogs. My favorite is when they bag the it and then leave the bag on the side of the trail. I see it constantly. It's going to give me a stroke from the rage. I've only seen this once and it made me uniquely angry. The dog's stuff would have naturally decomposed and you shoved it in a bag. You sick failure of a person. Come to Britain. We hang it from trees here. In thought those apples tasted right. Doing U-turns or turning left or right when there's signs saying it's not allowed. But it was a 3-point turn, not a U-turn. Entering the freeway at a very slow speed for no reason or stopping completely first for no reason. Low level stealing from work. Maybe a few pens that I'll leave in my pocket. The accidental AA batteries. The computer monitor. I hoarded pens like crazy to where I would have a bucket of them every year. Yearly on Christmas I would bring it back as a present. We did Secret Santa for Christmas at my previous job, which I hated. I had the reputation of being the very sarcastic member of the team, and bought a small cactus with the note from one prick to another. The gifts were distributed randomly by one of my managers, and my gift was placed in front of the director of the store. I must have turned bright red. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. Then my best work friend cottoned on and tried to shuffle the presents around a little more. It ended up in front of the director's wife. She made one of the other managers read it out loud because she didn't bring her reading glasses. I may never get that many drinks given to me on a night out again. That reminds me of a similar story. We had our work Christmas party last year and everyone was having a blast. We were at a fancy restaurant, open bar, great wine, all that. Our boss owner is a very smart and educated guy, but he seems to turn everything into a team building. Instead of letting us just chill, he wanted us all to participate in games and activities. I get what he's trying to do, but when it's 11 PM and I've got a good buzz going on, I just want to make stupid jokes with my work buddies. At some point he grabs the mic. Yes, he set up a mic in the restaurant and hands it off to someone and tells him to do that famous impersonation he does of someone else in the office. Both guys are good sports about this, but it then devolves into impersonations and the boss tries to drag everyone into doing impersonations of that guy. He throws the mic to me and makes me get on stage. I'm not great at impersonations, especially in my second language. But I realize that the only person I can do a good impersonation of is the boss. So I told him I would impersonate him instead, and I started grabbing everyone in the room and pulling them on stage and making them participate in bullet games, like I'm doing a real caricature of the boss. Everyone had a blast after that. But for weeks the boss kept bringing it up afterwards, like, do I really sound like that? And that was pretty good. You got me good, which led me to believe he thought about it a lot. I work in downtown Seattle a lot. So heroin and having your dong out. What's going on in Seattle? Lots of heroin and Visible Peanuts is the name of my new album. Visible Peanuts is his debut album. Lots of heroin. Littering. I don't even care that it's illegal. It's the apathetic act itself and its repercussions that bother me. Oh man. I was out driving with someone and they just passed me their fast food drink and said, here, throw this out the window for me, and when I refused they went, what? It's not like you're going to get caught. That's not the fricking reason I didn't want to do it. I was walking home with my friend when I was a teenager and I had some rubbish I was carrying home to put in the bin. She said I should just chuck it on the ground. But I wouldn't and she was like PFFT, no one's looking. Same as you, not the reason I wouldn't do it. Rolling stops at stop signs. So many things with driving. Speeding, using your blinker, not passing on the right. Don't get me wrong, I do it too, but driving laws are definitely seen more as guidelines when a cop isn't right there in front of you. Gotta love when they put the blinker on as they're a quarter way or more into your lane. Like, frick me right? Congrats, you've made it to the end. You're a beast. Like and subscribe for more r/ask Reddit content. It's free, so why not just do it?